Hi and welcome back. In the last video, we went through setting up your workspace and creating your first event. Now, let's look at configuring it. In the last video, we created your workspace and created your first event. We made this event called Summer Show 2026, and once the event was created in Mission Control, I showed you how to add in event branding on this page here. Now we're ready to open up the event and take a look at the individual configuration of all of the modules. Before we do though, I just want to quickly make a point here that this is the mission control area of your workspace. It's where you can see all of the events within your workspace and also all of the users across your events. It's also where you can manage your billing and change your settings for your account. Not everyone in your workspace will have access to mission control, only the people that you want to. Most people will only ever see the individual event portals. So, on that note, let's open up the Summer Show 2026 event portal by clicking the Open Event button here. This is the page that you will see once you've set up a fresh event in the system. You'll see here that we have a list of good next steps. These are dynamic based on what modules you've enabled. So if you remember back to when we set up the event, we selected all of the modules. So therefore, the good next steps for each of those modules are shown here on the home page. To complete the steps, you can either tick them off manually, click the link here to take you to the relevant page, or you can go to the relevant area of the navigation menu for each of the modules. Most of this will become second nature as you build out more events on the system. So the first good next step is asking us to review system email content and configuration. To do this, we need to go down to the system email section here on settings, or we can click on the link in the good next steps. I'm going to click over here on system emails. You'll see here in system emails that the system has automatically created lots of email templates for each of the modules that you've enabled. Let's just talk through some of them quickly. Up the top here, we have the accommodation booking cancelled, accommodation booking confirmed, accommodation booking updated, and accommodation manual booking confirmation. These will become more clear once we look into the accommodation module later in this series, but for now, just know that they exist and you can edit them in here if you don't like the way something looks when it comes through on email. Similarly, down here, we have a guest donation email template and we have a guest ticket email template. The difference between these two are if you set up donation payments through Stripe in the guest list module, this is the email that will send the person the link to complete the payment. And then this is the email here that will send out all of your guest ticket QR codes and wallet passes, however you've designed your tickets. We then have two of what I would say are the most important emails in the system, the induction link and the induction completed. So for most of your people that are added to the system and adding accreditation, you're likely going to send them some sort of health and safety or venue induction. And this is the link email that they will get, and you can edit the content of this in here. Next up, we've got a meal ticket default email. This is if you're deciding to use the catering function and scanning meals using our app or some of our hardware scanners. This is the email template that will send out the meal tickets for people. Similarly, if you're not doing an induction and you're just adding passes or credentials to individuals and you just want to send them their individual credential email as soon as it's approved, you can use this template here. And then, of course, we have the team welcome email. This is probably the email that will get sent the most earlier on. This is the email that gets sent to your point of contacts for each of your teams. So think vendor managers, vendor staffing managers, HR managers, whoever's going to be filling in the information for each of your suppliers, vendors, artists. This could be tour managers, general project managers from each of your vendors. This is the main email that they're going to get. And then we have a vehicle pass approved email here. Now, something quick to talk about with these emails is these are all of the default ones. You can create as many email templates as you want in the system. You might be thinking, but why would I want more than one, let's say, team welcome email? Well, that's because you can customize the email that's sent by the group. So for example, this team welcome email here, if we open it up by clicking the edit button, you can see here we've got a preview that says, "Hello Alex, welcome to Summer Show 2026. Please log into your team portal to complete your team details." Now we may want to put some more information in here, such as, once you've logged in, please add all of the information for your crew. And we can save that. This is great. But if some of our teams are actually artists, we may want this email to say, once you've logged in, please add all of the information for your artist team. And to do that, we can create two versions of this email and separate them out by the group that their team are in the system. So every team that is in the artist group will get the artist email, and everyone else that's in the supplier groups will get the supplier email. I'm just going to remove this for now. And I'm going to walk you through some of the other options that you have when editing email copy. So if we go up to the configuration tab here, you'll see you can change the name of the email. So if this was the team one that we're doing for suppliers, we can do supplier welcome email here. The standard email or call to action, all that means is if it's a standard email, there's going to be no link in there. If it's a call to action, then there's going to be a link. The system does this automatically for you when it's creating the templates. If you don't want to use the logo that you uploaded earlier in the setup, you can add a header image for the email here. Maybe you've got a nice custom email header image that you want to add in. There's a nice suggestion of an 800 pixel wide image there. And then finally, you can have a reply to override. So let's say your artist liaison team are the ones sending out emails to artists through the system, or perhaps your accreditation team and you want to have an email address that if someone replies to the email, it goes to them. You can add that in here. So you can do something like accreditation@coolevents.com or something like that. So then when this email is sent, although the email will be sent from AccredTix, if someone replies to that email, it will reply through to this email address. You can also do that globally across the whole event by going back to your emails in the configuration tab here and add in a reply to email for all of your emails. If you add a reply to on individual emails, it's going to override whatever is in the system email setting here. And finally, we have a send log in your system emails center where all of the emails that are sent from the system will be listed out here and you'll be able to see the status of it. So if someone's emails are bouncing or they're not delivered or perhaps there's an incorrect address, all of those emails that have been sent in the last 24 hours will be able to see in the log here. If you have a pro account, that goes up to 90 days. Okay, now we've reviewed our email content, we can head back to the dashboard and see what's next. So next up on our good next steps is to review page content. Page content works in a very similar way to email content. If we click on the link here, you'll see there's a bunch of default pages for each of the modules. These pages are the content that the team contacts will see when they log into the front end of the system. So this is the information perhaps about what pass types you have that you want to share, or maybe a zone map. The team homepage is what your contacts will see as soon as they log into the system. You'll also notice here that there is one called crew homepage. So this is the homepage that crew members or individuals essentially will see once they log into the system. All we have to do if we want to update the content here is click the little edit icon and you'll see there's some default content in here and you can just add whatever you need to put in here. Maybe we add in, if you have any questions, please contact your manager. And we can save that. You can add images in here, you can add links. There's a full insert menu here with lots of options. You'll notice back on the page here, there's a heads up that explains about knowledge base pages. So these pages are used above each of the modules in the system. So when you're in the front end, if someone has catering enabled for their team, they will see the catering information that is on this page. However, if you just want to create general pages of information, so for things like your site plan, or maybe you have some notices that you need to share with all of the teams and the individual crew members, you can open up the knowledge base in the communications module and create knowledge base pages that have general information. I'm happy that the system pages are great with their default content, so we can go back to the dashboard and see what's next. You'll see on the dashboard that the review page content is still here. This is because we didn't review every page. We're happy that it's complete, so we can just tick the checkbox. Next up, it's asking us to check our group defaults or change group defaults. If we do want to click on here, we'll see the groups that we created during the setup process of the event. The defaults that it's currently got in here are accreditation and communications. That means that this module will be enabled whenever a new team is created and added to these groups. If you are using different modules for different groups, perhaps only your artist teams are getting catering, or perhaps only your media teams are getting guest list. You can enable these modules individually per team, but to make the setup faster as you're going through, you can set the default here so that once a team is created, these default modules are turned on. Let's edit our artist group, and by default, add in accommodation, catering, guest list, and vehicles. And then in our production suppliers group, by default, let's add in catering, documentation, and inductions, as well as vehicles. You can also set a color for each of the groups, which will just help when differentiating teams throughout the system. So let's set a few different colors here for our groups. And I'm now happy with the defaults that we've got set here. So we can go back to our dashboard and check this off. In that video, we've just taken a look at checking our email content, checking our page content, and setting our group defaults. Essentially, that's all the configuration that you need to do inside your event that isn't related to a specific module. In the next video, we're going to take a look at setting up accreditation and your pass types.